confirms something that's been rumored for a while. Late last year, a U.S. Navy FA-18 fighter jet took a very clear photograph on a personal phone of a triangle-shaped unidentified aerial phenomenon. That vehicle, whatever it was, appeared to be operating with a propulsion system that generated no visible exhaust.
And see essentially a black triangle, white sort of indicator lights on its peripheral tips coming out of the water very quickly, and then accelerating at extremely high speed at about a 90-degree angle.
It came out of the water. So expound on that a little bit. There have been over the years a number of reports of unidentified underwater vehicles moving in ways that don't make any sense at all. Tell us what you know about that.
The TR-3B, the phenomenon is real. We want to thank Jose Sanchez for sharing his incredible artwork in regards to the TR-3B. What's being seen across the country and the world? Is it one of ours, or is it reverse engineered technology? Third Phase of Moon has been taking calls from the public for years now. Many of the people that have called in have witnessed the TR-3B for themselves. Tonight, you're going to hear some of the eyewitness testimony of the infamous TR-3B. Let's get to it. Buckle up, everybody. This is Third Phase of Moon.
Where are you calling in from?
Going good. I'm calling from Indianapolis, Indiana.
All right. Well, welcome to the show. You're coming in loud and clear. Sounds like you got something you want to share to the world. I'd sure like to hear it.
It's not like real exciting, like abduction or anything like that, but we were camping back around like May 18th, 19th, and the 20th, and we were out like stargazing and kind of, sky watching. It's kind of a thing we do. And didn't see anything the first night. The second night, I was out there, and I just happened to be looking up in the sky, and I was watching like some planes flying around. There was like probably about like 6 or 7 of them, flying around, and I caught these 3 lights, and I was like watching them because I thought those don't look like the normal planes. And so I just started just like tracking just those and watching them, and I watched it for like 10, 15 minutes total, but about 10 minutes in, it turned and like flew by me, and I just was like in shock, amazed. It was a huge black triangle. The first time I had ever seen one. I was like couldn't turn away. I didn't like want to walk away and miss anything, but I was just so like excited because I had never seen anything like that. I've always looked and sky watched, and we've talked about it, and I never see anything, and it was just huge, and it was like low down. It wasn't really high up. I was surprised. I thought, wow, if I had like a throwing arm, I could have like hit it with a football. But it only had lights at the corners of it, so 3 lights at each, so like the triangle, each corner was lit up, and it just sat there, silent as can be, did not move, just hovering above me for probably a good like 5 to 8 minutes. Like I was just like, wow, like I couldn't believe how huge it was, like huge. I would say like as big as a Walmart, and it was silent, no sound at all. And I just watched it just slowly go on by, and then it just turned, and I was watching it, and it just, after it turned, and went off real slow, I lost it. And I was like so excited, I went, because I wanted him to see it. He had went in the camper, and I was like, oh no, you missed it. I was so, like, I couldn't believe it. It was the coolest thing I had seen. And I said, I know this. It was either a TRB-3 or a alien triangle. One or the two. It wasn't a plane, you know what I mean? It was one of the two.
Incredible. You said it was so close to you that you felt like you could have thrown something at it. So this is no more than 30 or 50 feet above your head or so?
Well, I wouldn't say maybe that close, but like, okay, there was a tree not far up, like too far, in front of me, and it wasn't like much higher than the top of the tree. You see what I'm saying? It compared to like a plane flying by or helicopter or something like that, it was nowhere near as high as that.
You think anybody in the neighborhood spotted the same thing you did? Was there any reports talking in the town about this sighting you had?
You know, I'm not sure where we were camping at. Like, I seen, like, some people were out, but, like, I seen people were outside, but I thought, I wonder if they're wondering why I'm, like, just standing in the middle of the road, because there was, like a little road to, like, go up to, like, the shower house and stuff. I was wondering if they thought, like, what is this lady doing just standing up in the road, just standing there? But I don't know if anyone saw it, but I thought the craziest thing about that was, not when we got back home, it wasn't even like 3 days went by. Someone on YouTube had posted in another state that they had seen the exact same thing, a video. I'm not sure if it was your channel or if it was Kyle's or maybe even have been another channel. I'm not quite sure. But it was one of them. I saw it, and I was showing him. I was like, oh my God, look. I was so excited. I was like, this is what I saw. I was like, this is the exact same thing. And that same night, it was the same night I saw it, just in another state. And I said, I wouldn't be surprised if it was the same one, because how fast and calmly and quietly it moved, that it could just, fly from state to state probably, you know what I mean, within the matter of minutes,
Now, here's another caller who has called in to share their experience in regards to the TR3B.
602, you're live, Third Phase Moon. How are you doing tonight?
Good. How are you doing, Blake?
Oh, man, I'm doing awesome. After I just saw this video and the photos coming in out of Orlando, Florida, something big and massive just flew over there last month, and we got some great video. What's going on? Where are you calling in from, sir? You got something you want to share tonight?
I'm calling in from Phoenix, and I wanted to tell you a story about what happened to me about 22 years ago. I was out, and I was going to go ride a snowmobile, and so my friend told me I could go ride this snowmobile whenever I wanted. It just snowed. Anyway, I'm biking up this huge hill to go to this house, and next thing you know, I either see a TR3B in the sky, or I see some kind of unidentified flying object, and it just hovered there for about 30 seconds, going up this hill, and next thing you know, it went across the sky so fast, and it just left a little trail of light. And I was waiting for the sonic boom, but it never happened.
Now, let's get to the third caller who has an experience with the TR3B that's out of this world.
It wasn't moving. It wasn't making a sound. It was shaped kind of like a triangle, but it was I can't think of that shape. It's kind of like a point, but then it has like a square back, something like that. But we were just looking at it.
So you're 7 years old. How many of your friends were there? Who were all there during this?
It was me, my cousin, and my mom.
All right, so okay, that's cool. So there's multiple people witnessing this. What's going on between your cousin and your mom? What's their reaction? You're only 7 years old. So
our heart is beating. My heart is just beating, and I didn't know what to do. I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I just was like in shock when I was looking at it, because it's like I couldn't believe what I was looking at. And I wasn't really paying attention to what everybody else was doing, because I was just like, am I really seeing this? And I'm just looking at it. And next thing you know, it gets ready to leave, and it's like, and it just disappears. And what's crazy is that next day, our neighbor from 2 houses down, which is my uncle's best friend, he came over and he said he heard banging on his roof as well. And I just told him what happened.
Banging on the roof. Wow. Now that's making my hair rise on my arms right now in the back of my neck. That's scary. So you're only 7 years old. Let's just back up before we get to the neighbors your uncle down the street. So what did immediately after this thing and took off? What What did you and your cousin and your mom think about that? I'm sure you're going to go to your mom and kind of get some comforting of like, oh, is everything okay, Mom? What was that?
No, I was in so much shock. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And then it just disappeared. It just like, I'm watching it and I don't know what happened to it, just like, and just disappeared. And my mom said there was a guy across the street that disappeared. And then now today, she don't want people to think she's crazy, so she'll tell people that she didn't see it. I said, Mom, you've seen that. And she'll say, yeah, I did. She said, I just don't want people to think I'm crazy. I said, Mom, and then I told my neighbor about it. And he said, I told him I was on the phone with you. And he said, you got me out here looking for spaceships.
Wow. So wait, there was a car that disappeared as the craft was accelerating up into the atmosphere? Did I hear that?
No,
right?
It was a person. It was a person that disappeared. My mom said
wow,
that there
that's
was
even more
a man.
crazy. A man that got abducted right before your eyes.
She told me, she said there was a man standing right across the street and he disappeared.
Oh.
And then
stunned silence. I'm just amazed by this. This is. Did you explain how it disappeared? Was there some kind of like a beam, or just basically the man just disappeared right there,
and
dematerialized?
I never asked her about that. All she did was tell me there was a man standing right there and he disappeared, because I was into the spacecraft. I was zoned out from everybody else. I was into that. And it's like, it was a big shock to me. I was like, what is that? I'm a little girl looking at it like, what is that? What is that? And
I can understand why you're excited right now. And man, and people are really amazed on your story right here on the Flash Chat. But okay, exactly. Can you give us, like, I don't know, you're 7 years old. Do you remember the neighbor? Can you give us the name of the neighborhood, what state, and possibly exactly what year and month?
Okay, I don't remember the year and the month, and I don't really know if I was 7 or not, but I'm thinking I was around that area. But it was in Fremont, California, on Besco Drive, 3997 Besco Drive? Yeah, it was on Besco Drive, though, and it was in Fremont, California. And that's something that will stick with me for the rest of my life.
Yeah, that's, you would think that once you experience something like this, it never leaves you. And that's what's great about UFO sightings and alien encounters. And, witnessing a human abduction right before your eyes, and your mom's saying this, and she was afraid to tell anybody. They weren't things like this. Third phase of moon wasn't around during these days. I bet you, those days, Third phase of moon was around when you were 7 years old. She would have called in and shared this with us.
Yes, I would have, because it's like now that I'm older, I'm always looking for answers. I'm always trying to see if I could see it again, and like I subscribe to your channel and also Secure Team 10, and I love you guys, and I'm thinking, maybe one day, this is kind of a neat experience for me, because I'm actually talking to someone who really is interested in my story. Everybody else thinks, okay, no, that's not true. That didn't happen. But they weren't there, so they really don't know.
No. Wrong. That's what, we're so interested in this stuff. And to get it out to the world, because there's so many people like you, Christy, that have experienced it. I don't know about the exact same thing, but yours is quite extraordinary, this circumstance. 7 years old, your mom and cousin were there. Let's go in. So a couple days later, your uncle said he heard banging on his rooftop.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Now, what's that all about?
I don't know, but it gave me chills down my spine, because I remember him talking to my uncle, and he was saying that he heard a lot of banging. He said he didn't know what it was, if it was rodents or what it was. And I told him my situation. I told him, well, we heard banging on our roof and the electricity went off, and we went outside. We had our knives and stuff because we were scared. We didn't know if somebody was trying to get in the house. To this day, I don't understand why we went out the house instead of just staying in the house. I don't know where we're going.
Wow. You know, and your mom says, "Here, take this knife. Let's go outside and go fight whatever's out there." That's kind of a weird. Maybe you were compelled to go out there. Is what my theory is. That's strange.
Well, I guess maybe she was thinking like, well, let's go out in the open so we don't get killed in the house, like stuck inside the house, so you know, and be out in the open. I don't know, but it's strange. It's real strange. I'll never forget it. The thing was huge, though. It was huge. And I'm not saying this because I was a little girl, because I remember the street lights, and then I remember how wide the streets were, and it was hovering so low, and it's like mesmerizing.
You know, Fremont, California, some people are saying is pretty much a hot spot for UFO activity. And back in the day, there were not so many video cameras out, but I recall we have some videos over the past year submitted from that area. So that is quite interesting. But man, this story that you're telling us. Let's just back it up. What were you doing right before your mom decided that you guys all should go out with your knives? Let's start from the beginning on that. How did it reveal itself? You went to school that day. Was it on the weekend? I want to hear more.
Okay, I don't know if it was the weekend, but I remember we just got our baths, and my cousin was staying over, and my cousin was young like me too. His name was Jigme, and we had our pajamas on and everything, and you know how running around, your little kids and talking, and next thing you know, we just hear like a supersonic, like boom, 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 boom on our roof, like somebody just stomping on our roof. And it was scary. It was real scary. And the electricity started flickering, and it went off. And then I didn't know what to do, but my mom was like, she started going in the drawers, pulling out knives, and we already had, you know, like, because during that time we had our little blankets and stuff like that in the living room. We watched TV and stuff, and so we carried the blankets out and knives, and we went out on the front lawn. The front lawn was pretty big, and so we're just standing out there looking around to see what we see on top of the roof. That's what I remember. And then next thing you know, there's this big, huge spaceship just hovering, not making any noise at all, just right there. And I didn't know what I was looking at. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if something was going to come out of it or no. So I was like, what's going on? And I'm just looking at it, and I'm not paying attention to anybody else but the spaceship. And I don't even know how long it was there.
So when you're witnessing this craft up there, basically stationary in the night sky, not making pretty much any noise whatsoever, except basically whatever rattled your roof that night. Sounded like maybe a sonic boom, but you would have thought other neighbors would have came out and the whole neighborhood would have been startled. So there was no other activity going around on the streets. It was your cousin. Nothing. It was dead silent on the street. You guys witnessed this with your knives in your hand. When you witnessed this, you must have felt like, how am I going to fight this thing with this knife?
And I wasn't thinking. I felt at peace with it. I didn't feel threatened by it, which was crazy. I felt like peace. Like I didn't feel like I was going to be harmed. I just kept looking up at it. I didn't know what I was waiting on was something to come out of it or me to go up. I didn't know what. At that time, I was just staring at it because I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. It's like, wow. And then when it took off.
Wow. Yep. Go ahead.
Then when it took off, it just made a noise just like that. Until you couldn't see it anymore.
So you went back inside the house. What did your mom say after that? Like, did you guys kind of like bounce off each other, like what you guys just experienced? Because I know after seeing a UFO, you want to talk about it.
Absolutely. And my heart was beating so fast, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And then my mom started talking about the guy across the street. It's like I was more into the spaceship. She was more into the guy disappearing. So, and then we would talk about it. My mom, she didn't want me to talk about it anymore because she said people would think we were crazy and, you know, and, oh, we didn't see that, and try to be kind of like nonchalant about it, you know, like, and then if I would tell somebody, they would think I'm crazy and they'll start laughing, and, you know, I tell other little kids about it, they'll start laughing. So I was like, and it's now I'm all into the Nibiru planet, and I'm all, you know, watching about UFOs and just hoping one day I'll see another one. It's like I'm always looking in the sky. Only thing I see now is chemtrails. I don't see anything anymore, but that's something that I will never forget.
Sure thing. Yeah, you're looking for the good stuff from when you saw this stuff when you were 7 years old, because what you saw that night sticks with you, and that is just an amazing wow moment for Third Phase Moon Radio, because what we just heard tonight, people, is about as good as it gets from the testimony. You can't make this stuff up. Wow. I gotta thank you, Christy, for sharing your experience. Let me get it right. Is it Christy or Cookie? People are like saying
it's Cookie.
Okay.
But that's okay. I just let you keep going with it.
Wow, that's such a great name, Cookie. Is your mom still with us?
Well, my real name is Jennifer, and everybody calls me Cookie. That's just my nickname. But yes, my mom, she's still here.
Wow, if she has enough guts like you, Cookie, to come on Third Phase of Moon, we'd sure like to have her on. So, you know, a personal invitation. We'd sure like to get her side of the story on that. Because what's more weirder in a day, to see a UFO or see a person vanish before your eyes, possibly into that UFO that you just witnessed? Wow, amazing, Cookie, Jennifer. Appreciate it. So incredible.
No sé lo que es. Tiene el destello como de un platillo. Veníamos de donde la Lili y lo vi y dije a la niña, vamos a mirarlo. Estoy arriba del techo de la casa. Llegaron los ovnis. Estoy arriba del techo de la casa. Llegaron los ovnis.
Check it out. All right, we just showed this, and everybody's looking at it, and they might be saying, are these flares, or are they something else? Because when we're looking close at the lights, they seem very stationary. You know, there's a row of them. Could this be a large craft in the sky? Or some people might speculate that there could be maybe cars or hikers on a mountain. So we're trying to get some enhancement. We don't see any mountain behind this. There's no mountain coming up. Whatever these are, they're lights that appear to be hovering in the sky. Interesting video coming in. Thanks to Hidden Underbelly for the heads up. Now, we got another video. Well, actually, they're a series of photographs, and it's coming in from the Webcam de Mexico. And I got the heads up. Let me just pull this up so I could give credit where credit's due. This came in from Cindy Perich, and she captured this with the Webcam de Mexico footage. And what we're looking at in a series of photographs of what looks to be a massive rectangular shaped UFO hovering next to the volcano, Colima. But when we're looking at it again, the object is gone. So we're doing back and forth photographs of this rectangular, massive UFO, and then it's gone in other photographs. So we're not. I don't think it's an anomaly. I think we're looking at something that really seems to me that there is a massive object. We've seen and heard about the theory of UFOs harnessing energy from the volcano. Is this what we're looking at? This is incredible imagery. Again, I want to thank Cindy Perich for sharing this with us. Again, we got a lot of people joining us, and while you're watching this, leave your comments. Let us know what you're experiencing, what you're thinking in regards to the evidence you just saw. So again, we got another video, and this was from the Hidden Underbelly as well. The Hidden Underbelly sent us this footage, and this also was captured in Mexico by Jigme Rigzen. And Jimmy says that he captured this orb in the sky, and he manages to capture it for about 4 to 5 minutes. So while we look at Jigme Rigzen's video, let's just go ahead and take the calls, because I want to take calls. It's really important, and a lot of people are lining up. So if you're calling in, we got a lot of people that are waiting. So let's go to area code 336. You're live, Third Phase Moon. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing good. Where are you calling in from?
Ashburn, North Carolina.
All right. Well, welcome.
And,
it's getting. What time is it for you over there? About 6 p.m.
Yeah, it's 6:05.
Oh, perfect. 6:05. Yeah, it's 1:05 p.m. in Hawaii right now. It's crazy. We're on the opposite sides of the United States, but we're opening up the lines. What's going on in North Carolina? Thanks for calling in.
Okay. This happened several years ago, 1983. I seen a craft. It was diamond shaped. It had almond windows. It had a light at each window. No landing gear. And it was about, I say, 200 feet above the treetops. I was coming down the hill. It's called Troglan Hill, and I seen it, and it was huge. And I looked at the other cars and stuff, and trying to see if anybody else seen it, and nobody else seemed to see it. So I went past it. It was up above me, and I went underneath it. And I turned around, and I came back. It started moving. Okay, it almost like it knew I seen it, and it started going with the contour of the road. And I followed it, but it kept ahead of me, and the traffic was heavy at the time. It was 1983, about late October, and I would never tell anybody about it. But the bottom of the ship was smooth. There was no landing gear, and I couldn't figure that out. Undoubtedly, it never touched. It would never touch the ground. And but that's basically it. And
wow, appreciate it. So, what do you think it was? Do you think it possibly could have been, one of ours, or extraterrestrial altogether? Is maybe a mixture?
It's probably a mixture. But this happened in 1983. In 1995, the Greensboro Record in Greensboro, North Carolina, published an article about the very same ship that I seen. They said it was going from Guilford County into Forsyth County, and they said whenever it got to the line there, it just disappeared. They couldn't figure out where it went. It was like it went into a fourth dimension. But you can look that up if you want to know more about it. But I never told anybody because I thought people would think I was crazy. But
well, you called the right place, my friend. There's a lot of stories that come in, but we just want to get the word out. Appreciate you sharing it. It's brave of people to come forward. Appreciate it, man. You be safe out there.
You too. Bye.
Incredible story. This is insane. From the 80s, people are seeing these possibly reverse engineered craft, but from what he explained, it sounds like it was out of this world. This is insane. If you're joining us live on Third Phase of Moon, give us a big thumbs up. Now, let's get to the next caller. People are lining up. We got to get to them all. So let's get to area code 917. You're live, Third Phase of Moon. How you doing today?
Hello.
Hey, welcome to the show. Where are you calling in from?
Oh wow. Say word. Hey, what's up? I'm calling in from North Bronx, New York.
All right, man. What's going on in the Bronx? What are you seeing in the skies over there?
All right. This is the craziest thing ever, and like I'm a practical guy. I see it. Okay, it's there. One day I say, okay, I'm going to put some oil in my car. Go to the local AutoZone, get 2 quarts of oil, pull back in front of the house, stop in front of my driveway, pop the hood, do the oil, blah, 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 blah. Now, you know how you stand in front of your car and you reach up to grab the tip of the hood to pull it down to slam it shut? At that same time as I'm reaching up for the hood, in my peripheral vision over my left shoulder, my left eye, I see 2 twinkles, like bling, bling, 2 sharp flashes. At that very second, I look up to focus on what it is, and about maybe 10, 20 feet over my house is, for what I could describe, for all the listeners and for everybody else to see what it is I'm seeing, a school bus-sized cloud with twinkling lights inside, drifting across, heading up north toward Westchester County, which, would be north of the Bronx, where I am. And for the love of me, I could have froze from what I was seeing, because I was almost in shock, because my first thought was, holy sugar, they're real. And even now thinking about it, and this just happened this summer, just a couple of months ago, and I'm like, that ain't no freaking helicopter, that ain't swamp gas, that ain't the moon, Jupiter, yep. That ain't no TR3Bs, this, that, the others. Nothing on the planet Earth I have ever seen in my 54 years of life that I seen what that was. Never. And I could die tomorrow, and I'll swear to it.
That's amazing, and I appreciate it. It's kind of sometimes a once-in-a-lifetime experience when you get to see one of these things, but it's cool to know that you do have these experiences, to know that we're not alone. So, man, appreciate it. Hopefully this thing comes back, or this experience.
I mean, if you've, I was like frozen in shock, and I had a reaction to go for my cell phone, but it was moving and went, just off into the distance, and I couldn't. Still, I'm in shock of what it was. Does anybody out there know? Anybody else seen it? I looked online. There's a guy in Virginia that has a video of the same thing that I saw. I forget what the guy's name, but look up cloud UFO with lights inside. Cloud UFO. These things are disguised as all kind of things, man. I don't know what's going on, but that wasn't no military. And if it was, they got trillions of dollars to make something like that.
Sure. It makes sense. And I got to fill in our military and the assets they have. We're going to kind of blow it wide open when we come out with this documentary of ours. It's called Countdown to Disclosure, and it's going to be released in February, and it's basically all about the secret technology behind the Space Force. We got Dr. Greer in there, Dr. Michael Salla, Robert Blake Smith, among some others, and a few surprises. You'll see. Countdown to disclosure. It's going to be incredible. The trailer is going to drop on Third Phase of Moon real soon. We're excited to share this with you. Now, it's incredible. These people, they're having these experiences around the world. I appreciate that caller from the Bronx. Anybody see anything strange out there, you let us know right here at Third Phase of Moon. We're standing by. It's time to get to another caller. Give us a big thumbs up if you're joining us right here. Now, let's get to the next caller, 917. You're live, Third Phase of Moon. Oh, I think we went to 917. Let's go to area code 724. You're live, Third Phase of Moon. How you doing today?
Hi, my name is Brian. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you loud and clear, Brian. Where are you calling in from?
Bradenville, Pennsylvania. This was my first encounter with seeing a UFO back in 1973. I was outside with my father, and this giant black thing with white dots in it was in the sky, and it transformed itself into a Apollo rocket. It was like congratulating us for going to the moon. And the weird thing is it was in communication with me, and it warned me to beware of people who wear hats that look like UFOs. I know it sounds cuckoo, but that's the message it gave me.
You know, I appreciate you calling in. It's really important that people share their experience, and wow, incredible stuff. Appreciate it. We got a lot of callers. Let's just get to the next one right now. Let's go to area code 332. You're live, Third Phase Moon. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling from Oxford, Maine.
All right. All the way from Boston. What's going on over there? What's in the skies?
Well, about in the middle 90s, I was playing in a band at a time. I was coming back from a gig. It was about 2:30 in the morning. And I'm going through West Paris, Maine, and there's a lake there. And I come down off the hill, and I'm next to the lake, and I look off to the left, and behind the mountain, this orb shot up into the sky, and it just stayed there, and it didn't move. And it was kind of like a mother of pearl kind of look to it. It was very bright, and I thought it might have been a spotlight, but there was no beam at all. So I rolled to a stop next to the lake, and to the left of me was the lake. To the right of me was the line of woods. And I stopped and I looked at it for about maybe 3 or 4 seconds, and then it shot down at an angle, like in a Z shape, down, up, down, and stopped. And it was so fast, the trail behind it was like got to it a second later. So I'm looking at this thing and I'm going, what the hell is this? And there's no beam. And then as soon as I thought that, it shot from maybe a mile from over the mountain across the lake in front of me, and it disappeared behind the trees. It was so fast I couldn't keep up with it, but the trail I noticed had disappeared behind it. And that I couldn't explain it, and it was kind of weird. It looked, I don't know how big it was, because it looked like the size of the moon, but it was close. I think it was the mountain that it came up behind was about a mile away. And it made that maneuver and disappeared just like that, and I could hardly see it go, but I saw the trail disappear behind it.
Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. A lot of people are calling in right now at Third Phase of Moon. Are you having the experiences yourself, like kind of? I think it's a very important service. What we do here at Third Phase of Moon is have people call in, have them tell their stories, and then other people, they'll be kind of triggered in their mind and go, look, I've experienced the same thing. I didn't want to tell anybody, but they wanted to come forward and share the story. And once people start to realize they're not alone, it's really amazing. Okay, let's get to the next caller right now. Let's get to area code 647. You're live, Third Phase Moon. How you doing today?
Yeah, I have an incredible story for you. I had the speakerphone on. About 7 years ago, I was walking down the streets of New York. This street is called Christie Street. You know, Manhattan is symmetrical, so there's avenues going across. One of the avenues is called Houston Street. Along Christie Street, there was a park that runs across there. When I got to a certain corner along Christie Street, there was a craft that was descending, and it was right above the tree lines. And it was about, I would say, like 3 cars in length. If you take like 3 cars back to back, that was about the size of it. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, you're
Hello?
coming in loud and clear. Go ahead.
Okay, so this thing was descending, and I was trying to figure out if it was a hologram, if it was a projection from a nearby art museum, but it was clear as day. It was a craft. It was technology. It was right on this corner, descending. It was hovering above the tree line, and it went. It spun around and it went straight down the avenue, down the streets, and it was kind of getting like dark, so there wasn't no one in that street. Is usually more. I don't know how to call it. There's not a lot of traffic in terms of people and stuff like that. It's a road. So the next day, I had this phone. It wasn't all that great at the time. And I'm going like, oh man, I should have recorded that. I didn't have time because the thing just appeared out of nowhere. So the next day I say to myself, I'm gonna, what would be the chances that you would see this thing exactly again? And sure enough, I was walking down that street, and at that same spot, there was the craft descending again above the tree line. And I kept track of it. It spun around, and it kept going in a sturdy line. And there was a police officer, and I said, "Officer, look at this. There's a." And he was like, "What is it?" At the time, it just kept going, and there was you could see the Manhattan skyline with all the skyscrapers. Amongst them, you see the Chrysler Building. As it, I kept track of it, looking down the avenue, and down the street. Christie turns into another street, and it goes straight down. You could see the skyscrapers. As it went close to the Chrysler Building, it shot up. It ascended at incredible speeds, and it left like a sort of like a energy trail. And because it was getting darker, and this thing lit up the trail in terms of combustion, whatever it was, or energy, but it shot up in warp speed. That's the only way I could define the acceleration.
That's crazy and amazing, and it's insane what you're telling us, but then it's not. These vehicles that are off-world, they could perform maneuvers that just are beyond comprehension, and that's what's the most important thing, is that people got to understand there's real people that have real experiences, and that's why they're calling it the Third Phase Moon. All the people that called in, I have no idea who these people are. They're not paid actors. They're just people that want to share their experience, and that's why we're doing this. And it's interesting that he tried to get the police officer's attention. Now, I got more people calling in, so this is exciting. Give us a big thumbs up if you're joining us on the live YouTube premiere right now. Let's get to area code 831. 831, you're live, Third Phase Moon. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Where are you calling in from?
Santa Cruz, California.
All right, welcome to the show. Beautiful area. What do you see over there?
Thank
what
you.
are you seeing over there in Santa Cruz?
Well, being as I've grown up there, when I was very young, I had an experience in a backyard of my home, and I remember, a residue memory as a child, being in the backyard, little clips. I can remember from when I was like 2 years old, And when I was in my 30s, my mother said to me, we were talking about our childhoods, and she said, "You were so weird. You came in the house talking about playing with aliens." And I didn't call them aliens. I said little people. And it was kind of a confirmation, that this residue memory I had. And I've always had this, thought in my mind, like, yeah, was that real or was it not? And when my mother just said that to me, it just really surprised me. And so prior to my 30s, I was in San Francisco, living in San Francisco in Potrero Hill, and I saw this huge monolithic, UFO. And at that time, I'd never heard of a cigar-shaped UFO, never. And this is actually more truly like an aircraft carrier going over the sunset, and it was around sunset. And this was in February of 95, and I thought for sure this would be on the news. I did every check. I checked my breathing, I snapped my fingers, waved my hands in front of my eyes just to make sure I was present and I wasn't hallucinating. And I remember the heat wave ripple, which I have heard people say is a cloaking type thing, but it was so big, I don't understand how anyone would have not seen it. And it was moving slowly. It wasn't going fast. And so several years later on YouTube in Mexico, a man did a video and people were walking down the street and he actually was saying, look, look, look. And people finally looked up and noticed this huge monolithic thing that he was actually videotaping, and it was the same one. It was 10 years after I'd seen mine, but yeah, it was the same one.
Incredible.
So, yeah, they're real.
They are real, and that's insane that you're, sharing this and how you ran into your mother's to the room and tell her, look, I was just visited by these aliens or these little people, and let me tell you, I've been getting a lot of calls lately in regards to these encounters, and my brother and I have had our own personal encounters at a young age, and it's personal, but it's interesting, and they come when you're a child, in my opinion. They want to make contact. Yeah. I guess Did you feel threatened by them, or were you kind of were they friendly? They were friendly towards us, it seems.
They were friendly, and it was really strange because in that memory, I said, it's residue, but I do remember, I can see a snapshot clearly of the fence and the trees. It's one of the really only clear spots of that memory that I have, and these little grays. They were what people call grays now. Of course, I didn't comprehend that when I was little. I didn't know.
Can I ask you this question? Were they wearing any kind of clothing? When we experienced them, they're kind of I recall it. They look like they're almost wearing jumpsuits.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. And I don't want to overemphasize or over dramatize. But I swore, in my residue memory, they had an apparatus with them, some type of something on their hand and around their waist. And I would say a belt, if you were, to say it, but it wasn't a belt. It wasn't like a black Santa Claus belt or anything like that. It was just some type of, it just kind of raised off of their suit. That's how I knew. I could tell it was clothes. I knew they weren't naked, or otherwise as a kid I probably would have said they were naked, But I don't recall them being naked.
Yeah, for sure. Let me this is amazing. Let me ask you, have you ever seen this video? I'm not sure if it's real or not. Some people are still on the fence if this is legitimate footage of Skinny Bob. Have you seen that footage of Skinny Bob?
No, I haven't. And actually, I'm not really a UFO enthusiast. I've just had the couple of experience. I even have one on video that I didn't even know was on my video recently. So, but yeah, no, I'm not a UFO enthusiast or anything. I'm not a conspiracy theorist or nothing. But I just thought I would share this, and I'm actually surprised I got on. I'm a little embarrassed, but I just thought I would share it in case anyone else saw that in that big monolith in San Francisco, February of 1995, around sunset. I'll never forget it. That's primarily why I wanted to call in, to see if anyone else saw that, and also that I do have a residue memory of grays in the backyard of our house by the yacht harbor in Santa Cruz when I was a little girl. I think I must have been about 4. But no, I've heard of that. What's it called? The spider, what did you call that thing?
Yeah,
that you were
I want you to
asking me
look
about?
up, and I'm going to be playing it on this show. I'm going to look it up and play it. So when we play this back on our live YouTube, you're going to be able to see what I'm referring to. It's called the Skinny Bob footage, and I think it resembles what my brother and I experienced as well, and I got a feeling you're going to be in amazement when you watch this video. Appreciate the call in. Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you. All right, have a good one, and thank you for what you do. It's great.
Oh, appreciate it. Appreciate it. You know, I appreciate everybody that's calling in, sharing these stories, these personal encounters, and it's not easy. I consider these people very brave to do this. So we've got a lot of people lining up. I think we got time for maybe a couple more callers. So let's do this. Give us a big thumbs up. Let's go to area code 705. 705, you're live, Third Phase of Moon. How you doing today?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Good, good. Where are you calling in from?
From Canada, Ontario. I'm a long-time subscriber, and
Wow.
I just want to
Go ahead,
call
let's
in.
hear it.
Okay, yeah. So I called in about 2 years ago about a drip-shaped craft, and I just want to let everybody know they're real. UFOs are real. I've seen it. I've done a little bit of personal research, and I haven't seen many of them. But I love the stories. I love hearing stories from people. And, yeah, just keep up the good work. And hopefully somebody can get back to me on that, hopefully through the YouTube channel, about seeing a drip-shaped craft, because I believe I'm on a lead. So.
Absolutely. Appreciate it. Thanks for the encouragement. You be safe out there. And thanks for the call in.
Yeah. Thank you.
I wanted to thank everybody for joining us on this special live radio show, going over UFO videos, going over the testimony from around the world that's important. It's that time, people. Things are happening, and people are seeing things in the sky. So be safe out there. I appreciate everybody giving us the support on the live premiere, the super chats, the intelligent comments. You guys are the best. Keep your eyes on the skies, and if you capture anything amazing, submit it to us right here at Third Phase of Moon. My email is in the description below. Upload your video to YouTube. Copy-paste that link to my email address. We may share your video evidence to the world. That's what we're here for. Blake Cousins. We'll see you next time. Appreciate it, everybody. See ya.